Hello and welcome to the show. This is Anne Vivian speaking. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be exploring holiday magic, the true meaning of giving. I can't wait to go on this adventure with you. I just want to remind you, you can find this podcast on the amazing mindbodyspirit.fm podcast network. You can also find me on iTunes, Google, Spotify, and my YouTube channel, Creative Psyche Studio. Psyche is Psyche. If you want to check out this podcast on any of those platforms. And I want to thank you again for tuning in and encourage you to leave a review, subscribe, share. And that was my little PR for the podcast. So I want to welcome you into this space, my friend. We are integrative mystics. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Become aware of the sky above your head. Feel the breath in your lungs. Notice your heart beating. These are all dimensions of the one. They are all dimensions of you. And we are present, being aware of our multidimensional self. Welcome to this space. Today, we're going to be talking about holiday magic. We're going to be talking about the magic of giving and true giving. The holidays can bring up a lot of familial, societal expectations and stress. We are often connecting with our families, and we are connecting with some ancestral energies, some good, some not so helpful, some mixed. So I want to acknowledge that for a lot of us, we're aware of societal expectations, we're aware of religious dogma, we're aware of old beliefs having to do with religion, money, the material plane, expectations. The holidays can bring these things up. We're maybe also aware of some thinking patterns in society, in our family, as we're getting close to our family. And some of them can drag us down. I hope that's not you, my friend, but I just want to remind you that the true meaning of the holidays is what you make of it. And you can define how you celebrate the holidays. You can define what gift giving means to you. You can define what this time of year truly means to you. We can allow the children to be our mentor as we observe their awe, their sense of wonder and magic. There is something very sacred in the magic of Santa Claus and the children's perception and experience of miracles, magic, the openness. Anything is possible. And we can create our own reality during the holidays. We can choose our beliefs. We can choose our rituals. We can choose the energy and the intentions to focus on. We can choose to see the magic. We can choose to see things to appreciate and remind ourselves of all of the beautiful sacred parts of our life and of the holiday. It's also a good time to ask yourself, what quote unquote present, what do I want to manifest in my life? What have I not been opening myself to the possibility of that my soul really wants to explore? And maybe this is an experience, maybe it's a thing, maybe it's a dream that you haven't given yourself permission to, or even been aware that it is there. But we're at a really powerful time coming to the end of the year. We have the opportunity to release the old, excuse me, to embrace the new. And it's a time to recreate ourselves in our life. And it is a doorway. It is an energetic doorway as we come to the end of the year. And it can be, you can use that doorway as a portal to unseen parts of yourself, to facilitate a breakthrough. You can use that portal to access unseen parts of yourself. You can use this portal as a rebirth, as an energetic scaffolding for a new beginning. The birth of the sun, all of our religious and spiritual traditions revolving around the growing light at the winter solstice, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. There's a lot of celebration of light right now, and we can really align ourselves with that beautiful sacred idea and what's happening in nature in our own way. The meaning of the holidays is what you make it. So maybe you want to redefine what your ritual is, how you give, redefine some expectations around presence or religion or gender or sexual orientation or politics or lifestyle, or how you set your boundaries or your authenticity, how you arrange your finances. This is a great opportunity to create your own magic. It's a great time to leave behind the things that you want to leave behind. And the new year is an opportunity to embrace the light and embrace the new strength, a new chapter. We're talking about ways of giving, holiday magic today. I was drawn to pick out the Six of Pentacles tarot card. I love this card. It's so many levels of meaning on this card. The Six of Pentacles, and this is a universal weight deck that I'm using. The Six of Pentacles is about giving and receiving. And it's bringing up a lot of the issues that I was guided to talk about today. It's bringing up different octaves of giving. So in the picture, looks like maybe a royal representative of some sort is giving money to some beggars. And there's six pentacles kind of in the air. And in his right hand, he's giving some coins. And in his left hand, he has a little balance scale. So this card speaks to the balance of giving and receiving. Are you giving and receiving in a balanced way? Are you over giving? Are you over taking? Are you under giving? Are you under receiving? Take a look at if there's a flow, if you're receiving, but also giving. Are you able to balance that yin and yang? Because that's part of the flow of energy. And it can also be a card about karma. It can be a card about what you invest comes back to you. It can be a card about finances, taxes, loans, receiving financial support. It can also be, like I said, a card about pointing out if there's an imbalance, if you're not giving enough, if you're not investing enough. And this could be financially, it could also be energetically, emotionally, spiritually, if there's an imbalance in what you're investing, what you're receiving, what you're giving. So on a lower level, we might say there's an old belief about scarcity. I have to beg to get a little piece of the small amount of prosperity that is there. I have to do what I need to do. I have to work really hard. I have to beg. I have to trick. I have to make it happen. I gotta figure out a way to get a little piece of the small amount of abundance and resources that are available. And I'm always going to be behind, right? And other people have it and I don't have it. So that's maybe a lower level understanding of the material plane. And maybe also with our presence this time of year at Christmas, Hanukkah, winter solstice, Kwanzaa, sometimes we feel that old expectation of giving presents, and it can bring up a dissonance with some old beliefs around the material world, around expectations, obligations, about shoulds, about materialism. So that's also a lower level of what this card is bringing up today. Over attachment to the material plane, focusing on other humans as our doorways to abundance. Higher level, higher octave. I trust that there is an infinite supply. I trust there's enough for everyone. I trust I don't need to beg or manipulate or be conniving or clever or work myself to death in order to get the resources that I need, deserve. I trust that there's enough for everyone and that source, divine source, is guiding me to divinely inspired actions to manifest my resources. I trust as I align myself with the truth that there is an abundance, that abundance will be offered to me, and that I will be guided to know what actions to take to receive that. Also, on this higher octave of understanding giving and receiving is the understanding that divine source is my supply. No one human being or group of human beings is my supply. That is an illusion. My true supply comes from source. And when I take my focus and I shift it from human beings and shift it to source, in that trust, in that faith, in that knowing, then I've shifted my relationship with the material world. I've shifted my relationship with the whole idea of giving and receiving, because as I trust and I know and I embody that source is providing for me, and it is my job to receive that, it is my job to step up to that understanding and that truth, then it takes the pressure off of me finding a way to control getting that money, finding a way to beg or work really hard or control someone to give it to me. I am in a place of trust, and so I've shifted how I'm interacting with other people. I'm now interacting with people without an ulterior motive. I'm now interacting with people not expecting them to be my resource, but seeing past that level and seeing in the bigger truth, in a more expanded understanding that it is source behind all of the people, institutions, channels that is truly bringing me my good. And so when you think about giving, think about that as well. Think about, as I'm giving, I am allowing myself to give from a place of knowing there is an abundance and a flow, instead of an obligation or some lower, maybe even, resentment or martyr kind of mentality. That's a lower vibrational giving. So go high. When we're thinking about giving and receiving this holiday, aim high. And you might not be giving material gifts. I respect however you give, if that's part of your holiday practice. You may give cards or a phone call or prayers, or you may give in a more unconventional, progressive way, as they say, experiences, something handmade. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other, but I do acknowledge there's a beautiful movement towards challenging old traditions that no longer resonate with what we truly, how we truly want to engage with the energy of this season. So however you give, though, think about giving with that intention. And the most important thing really is the energy with which you give anything, and aligning yourself with the sacredness of giving. It truly is sacred. I want to read to you a few quotes. So in the Bible, in Luke, Jesus says, "Give, and it will be given to you. They will pour into your lap they will pour into your lap a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu says in chapter 81, "The sage does not hoard. The more he does for others, the more he has. The more he thereby gives to others, the ever more he gets." There is a really interesting article from the American Psychological Association I will post the link in my YouTube channel if you want to check out that online article. What happens in your brain when you give a gift? Gift giving activates regions of the brain associated with pleasure, social connection, and trust, creating a, quote, warm glow effect. Fascinating article. In this article, it points out a review of several studies that indicate giving activates our neurological centers in the brain that are associated with happiness. It also admits gift giving can activate anxiety and some other unpleasant feelings, but there's an association in multiple research studies that show gift giving is associated with happiness and can activate a feeling of happiness. Psychologically, we probably evolved in our social brains and our limbic system to feel good about giving. Evolutionarily speaking, this helps us to support each other in the tribe and survive. If we're able to help each other, that's a pro-social behavior. Some evolutionary scientists might say it makes sense that we evolved to feel good about giving. Like I said, sometimes giving can bring up other feelings as well, especially if it's coming from a place of obligation. On a metaphysical level, it activates the law of circulation, known in the Kabbalion as the law of vibration, not to be confused with the law of attraction. But the law of circulation or the law of vibration states everything is constantly vibrating, everything is constantly moving, right? So look at the planets, look at the solar system, look at an atom. Everything, it has constant movement to it in our universe. And as you align yourself with this universal principle, you can align yourself with the divine flow of giving and receiving. So as we give, as Jesus and Lao Tzu pointed out, as we give, we're activating a flow of receiving. And it's not receiving from a particular person. We're activating a flow of the connection of giving and receiving. As you give, you receive. As you receive, you give. As you understand that to give is in alignment with a divine quality, then you understand you don't need to worry about all of those rules and ideas attached to giving. The shoulds. Is this enough? Is this the right thing? What am I going to get in return? Am I giving too much or too little? As you're aligning yourself with that understanding that circulation is how our Creator created this reality, that a divine attribute or principle is circulation. Everything is constantly moving, going back and forth. Then you're able to align with a trust. As I give, I'm trusting, I'm aligning with how this whole thing works, right? I want to give you an example of two scenarios, and I won't tell you which scenario is the actual one and which one I made up. But here's the two scenarios. A busy working mom is asked to volunteer at the fundraiser for the fire station, and she is exhausted, but she does so anyway because she feels like she should. It's what a good person would do. And at the fire station, she answers phone calls. She's very tired, and she ends up being a little rude to people calling. There's some complaints, and then she ends up fainting, losing consciousness from exhaustion and having to go to the hospital. That is scenario one. Scenario two, a busy mom who is exhausted is asked to volunteer at the local fire station fundraiser, and she decides that because she's exhausted, this isn't really in alignment with what she is feeling in her heart is the best action to volunteer time. But she decides she's going to give to the fire station. She appreciates what they offer the community in a way that is helpful. And she calls upon divine source to help her figure out how to do this. Later that day, after she turns down the invitation to volunteer there, later that day, she has an intuition to call the chief firefighter and just say hello. She checks in on him and finds that he's pretty down. He's not feeling well. She can easily visit him on her way to drop the children off, and she does so. And she has a conversation with him and helps him understand his problem, offers him listening and empathy, and offers some advice to help him deal with his problems. He feels better. She feels like this was giving in a way that was in harmony for her. Spirit guided her. And now that the chief is feeling better, he actually comes up with an idea that would help the whole department generate even more money. Those were examples of 2 ways to handle an invitation to giving and trusting that the way that feels in alignment with you, the way that feels respectful of you and others, the way that feels not like a no, but like a, yeah, this feels right. This is the higher form of giving. So I want to encourage you, my friend, to think about, as you're giving prayers, as you're giving traditional gifts or non-traditional gifts to yourself, to others this holiday, think about shifting to that higher octave of giving, understanding there is an infinite supply. Source is your supply, and you can generate more for yourself and others as you give from that divine place of abundance. I am going to now transition into the tarot reading for the week. Moving into the energy for the week ahead, the week of December 4th, 2023. If you are listening to this recording outside of that time frame, use your intuition. It may still be relevant for you. Tuning into the week ahead, as I'm sensing the energy of the upcoming week, I'm sensing an organization again, which I sensed last time. There's an opportunity to organize in order to prepare for the new year and the new beginnings that will be opportunities for us. Got the 4 of Wands, the 4 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Wands. Yeah, so here's that organization with the 4s. It's about setting things up, setting up your foundation. So right now, a lot of people, even though the holidays are happening, a lot of us are being guided to organize and begin to assess and categorize and label and throw away and clean out and refine our systems so that we can be prepared for the new blessings coming in, the new energy shift. So I feel like that's really strong, that wants to come through this week. And I feel like also Spirit wants to guide us to get out of our head this week, to be playful, to balance work and play, and don't overthink things as well. Even if, there's an organizational energy for some of us, don't overthink things and don't overplan. It's good to keep things loose as well as far as plans. But organizing your life right now is actually really, it's a fertile time to do that. And kind of understanding what you want to keep and what you want to let go. That's a basic level of organization, and beginning to kind of assess that and categorize that. I'm going to pull a Starseed Oracle card. Ooh, a lot came out. Activated Earth. Trust where you're led. Star Ancestors, Hidden Secrets, Lost Wisdom, Look a Little Deeper. So many cards came out. I think I'm going to go with these 2. I'm just going to zero in on these 2, speaking of organization. So I feel like this week, it's a time when we're able to connect with ancestors in this season, and Spirit wants to remind us that we're connected with not only the ancestors here on the earth who are alive in flesh and blood, but all of the ancestors in the spirit world. They are with us, ancestral. I feel like Archangel Michael is with us, and I feel like Archangel Michael is helping us to use discernment, guarding our thoughts, I feel like he's offering extra protection this week. And Archangel Michael helps people who are improving their lives and who are going through time of change. And I feel like he's here to offer us support and guidance as we're going through a time of change. There he is, Archangel Michael, on the Judgment card. Well, I don't think that's a traditional interpretation, but I'm interpreting it now as I'm pulling a tarot card. Judgment came out with this angel up here. So that's the Archangel Michael vibe I'm getting is, you know, the Judgment tarot vibe is discernment, is being intentional about what thoughts we're choosing and being intentional about organizing ourselves and creating a safe space for ourselves as we go through a time of change and remembering our true values. If you are considering major life change, call upon the angels. You can call upon Archangel Michael. Archangel Uriel also specializes in that. Call on your guides, call on source. Know that there is help and support for you. And I feel like there is a portal here of energy, and we're being guided to release things on a level we've never been guided to before. And it's going to make room for new blessings in our lives. So that was the message for this week. I want to thank you again so much for tuning in, my friend. Check out my website. I've got information about upcoming intuitive development groups, dream groups, manifesting groups, gallery readings, multidimensional gallery readings that I will be doing, creativepsychestudio.com. I hope you have a beautiful holiday season, my friend, and I will see you next group, podcast, video, or session. Take care.